My name is Rebecca. I am 24 years old, a graphic designer, and the designated problem in my family's narrative. My crime is not rebellion, but quietness and a diagnosed anxiety disorder that my parents treat like a contagious shame. My sister Emma is the golden child, and her wedding was the family's crowning event. 2 weeks before the ceremony, holding the slate blue dress I'd bought to blend in, my mother called. Her voice was arctic. "Your father and I think it's better if you don't come. You'll only make things about yourself." I stood frozen, the hanger digging into my palm. "Rebecca, did you hear me?" I had. In that moment, I realized my presence in their story was always meant to be an asterisk, a footnote of inconvenience best edited out. The systematic erasure had been unfolding for months. I was excluded from dress fittings and planning meetings. In a group chat ominously titled Final Logistics, my mother decreed, "Rebecca should sit at the back table away from the main family to avoid any awkwardness." When I protested, my father texted, "Your sister's day shouldn't be about your issues." My issues. That's what they called my existence, an inconvenient condition to be managed. In a private call, my mother laid it bare. "Some of our family friends find you difficult. We don't want any drama." They weren't protecting me, they were hiding me. The final blow was seeing Emma's Instagram story, a screenshot of the seating chart where a distant cousin I'd met twice had a place of honor, while my name was relegated to a table by the kitchen doors. I reached out to Emma, needing her to claim me. "Do you actually want me there?" Her reply was a masterclass in passive surrender. "Of course, but Mom and Dad think it might be stressful for you." She had chosen the path of least resistance, letting their narrative become our reality. The family mythology was being rewritten in real time. My mother posted an engagement photo captioned, "So proud of Emma. She's always been our strong, stable daughter." A neighbor commented on the whole family's joy. My mother liked the comment, letting the implication that I did not exist stand unchallenged. I was being ghosted while still breathing. My father's text turned me into the aggressor. "Your mother is upset because you're being ungrateful. Emma's crying. She's worried you're angry with her. Is that what you want?" I was trapped in a play where my role was the unstable villain, and my only lines were apologies I hadn't earned. When Emma texted, "Can we talk after the wedding?" I understood the finality. I had two choices: show up and be silently humiliated, or refuse the role altogether. I chose a third option: disappearance. At work, my boss David noticed my hollowed-out focus. Over lunch, I told him everything. He listened, then shared his own story. "I realized I was giving them free rent in my head," he said. "What if you didn't go? What if you did something for you instead?" The idea felt blasphemous. "That's the guilt talking," he observed gently. "That's their voice, not yours." His words were a key turning in a rusty lock. That night, instead of scrolling through wedding drama, I researched. I found it: a prestigious arts and design conference in another city, scheduled for the exact weekend of the wedding. It was a real career opportunity, a gathering of my tribe. With a heart hammering not from anxiety but from defiance, I booked a flight and a hotel room. I told no one in my family. This wasn't a protest, it was a pivot. The week before the wedding, the family's assumptions solidified in my silence. "We assume you've decided not to come," my mother declared on a call. "We're giving your seat to Uncle Robert." It wasn't a discussion. My absence was my compliance, and they were grateful for it. They sent me a check to contribute to Emma's gift, instructing me to mail it. My participation had been successfully reduced to a financial transaction. On the morning of the wedding, I woke up in a sunlit hotel room 300 miles away. The quiet was profound, not lonely. I sent one final message to the family group. "I hope the wedding is beautiful. Emma, I love you. I'm taking care of myself today. I'll reach out when I'm back." Then I turned off my notifications and put my phone on airplane mode. The boundary wasn't a wall, it was a membrane that filtered out their noise and let in my peace. At the conference, surrounded by the vibrant chaos of creative minds, I felt a belonging I'd never known at a family table. Over coffee, I met Kyle, a fellow designer. When he asked what brought me there, I told him the truth. Not the sanitized version, but the raw one. He listened, then said quietly, "You know that's emotional abuse, right? Making you feel like your existence is an inconvenience." Hearing a stranger name it broke a spell. I cried then, not from sadness, but from the relief of being seen. Meanwhile, in the ballroom I'd escaped, my absence began to speak. My mother had told guests I was sick, but the lie was thin. People asked, "Where's your other daughter?" Every forced explanation, "She has anxiety. We thought it was better," cast a shadow on them, not me. I hadn't caused a scene. I'd simply removed myself from the stage. My silence was louder than any outburst. Emma called me from the reception, her voice slurry with champagne and confusion. "Where are you? Mom's telling everyone you're sick." "I'm at an arts conference," I said, my voice calm. I chose my career and my mental health over sitting in the back pretending to be invisible. The line was quiet. "You could have told me." "I told you I was taking care of myself. You didn't want to hear it. That's not my responsibility to fix." I ended the call not with anger, but with a gentle finality. In the weeks that followed, everything changed because I did not. I returned to my life steadier. Emma requested a talk and offered a real, if belated, apology. "I was scared of Mom and Dad. I didn't stand up for you. I accept that you're sorry, but I need you to know this hurt." My parents cycled through confusion and defensive guilt. They expected fury, a dramatic blow-up that would validate their portrayal of me. Instead, they met a calm, distant woman who'd built a life raft while they were busy poking holes in the ship. "We were trying to help you," my father insisted. I finally had the words to answer. "I've decided I don't need that kind of help anymore." Professionally, the conference bore fruit, a freelance project from a contact I'd made, the first step on a path I was building for myself. My therapist reframed my choice. "You're not broken for needing to step away. You're healthy for doing it." They wanted me invisible, and in the end, I gave them exactly what they asked for. But my vanishing act wasn't a retreat into nothingness. It was a strategic repositioning. I didn't disappear from the world. I simply disappeared from their version of it. I vanished from a narrative that required my diminishment and reappeared as the author of my own. Their silence, intended as punishment, became the very permission I needed to finally, fully choose myself. And in that choice, I found a solid ground I never knew existed, built not on their approval, but on my own quiet, unshakable worth.